It's a sad scene, especially as several people were killed in this flooding overnight, including a 2-year-old boy. Most of the victims died in Queens. They were, for the larger part, trapped in flooded basements. And that has got New Yorkers asking why there wasn't more of a warning so that people could seek higher ground. Why were they put at risk? This Thursday morning, subways are, for the most part, still at a standstill. A lot of people are having a hard time commuting to work. Many roads are flooded. There are still abandoned cars in the streets and firefighters out in inflatable boats in some areas in and around New York. This flood warning is still in place for at least an hour or so. Really, the situation is dramatic. New York City has not seen flooding like this in I think, centuries even. It has been a very dramatic night. We even had a tornado warning at one point. Many people have told me that their basements are flooded, that people were trapped in cars overnight. One 70-year-old man in New Jersey was swept away in his car. Firefighters did all they could to try to save him, but they were pushed underneath the car and unable to help him. So a very dramatic scene. We saw images from subway stations overnight, in particular one very striking one from 145th Street where there's a waterfall pouring down the stairs into the subway station. So we can only imagine that there's going to be a lot of damage to infrastructure.
A lot of damage to infrastructure, Jessica. Therefore, more money surely will be needed from the state and from the federal government. Do we know what's planned to help New Yorkers now?
Well, there'll be a rush to put things back together again. But right now, people have still been told to try to stay home because the extent of the damage is not quite yet clear. This state of emergency is still in place, the flood warning. But certainly, if you look at the images, the damage is extensive. And of course, the worst thing of all is that people have lost their lives. And that's got people really asking today, why was there not more of a warning? We have already seen flooding in the last weeks or months here in New York City that's been almost unprecedented. Was there not some way that this could have been anticipated and people who were in basement apartments could have gone somewhere else? Those are the sorts of questions that people are asking. And the talk this morning is also all about climate change. How is New York City going to combat climate change, especially from local council people in Queens, which was really the worst hit area. Brooklyn was also particularly hard hit. There were some dramatic scenes of flooding in Williamsburg and in Park Slope. Really a lot of questions this morning about how this city is going to deal with climate change.